So, I switched my channel name back to P226nut. What's that about? Well, thanks to the way everything is, basically, some base code of YouTube was written with me as P226nut, and no matter what name I put in, the thing that brings up my videos in search is P226nut. So, well, we went back to the original name because you can't really change your fucking name on YouTube, apparently. And I still have the P226nut handle on Instagram, thanks to a series of unfortunate events, basically. I don't have the original Rachel's Place 26 anymore. Same set of unfortunate events. And, like, honestly, I don't know. I made that name because I was wanting to go do homesteading. Looks like we ain't going to get to do homesteading. So, P226nut is like, well, Smoke got it. Let's put it that way. We are decidedly not homesteading. Take that to mean however you will. I don't know what this channel is going to become. It's just kind of morphing into like my spiritual vlog because I'm not allowed to talk about anything else. And you know what? I think this place eventually, I'm wanting it to be kind of knife reviews, cat videos, and some of what you guys have been seeing. And we're going to do that and have like this be the church of the shit that I believe, kind of like Matt Freeman did. You can go look him up. Continue mission, fuck the knives. Continue mission, fuck the knives. Continue mission, fuck the world. Knives was his name of his shit. He basically taught me how to make knives. My grandfather taught me a lot of shit about how to make knives. And then talking to Big Kitty Fuck the World or Continue Mission Fuck the World every night on Instagram about how to make my shit better made me the person that I am today. And I believe a shitload of what that dude believed, pretty much. Maybe a little bit lighter on the Jesus side of things. But not really that much. Like, as I'm getting older, I'm finding I find Christianity more and more appealing, provided I'm allowed to make my own brand of it, because I'm basically Satan, according to, like, most of them. I guess this is becoming like the church of P226nut. Might as well be. Funny part is, the SIG P226 is legitimately one of my favorite handguns, but you should get that I'm at a point in my life where I do not give a fuck about what your favorite handgun is. Okay? If you ask me what my favorite handguns are the 1911, the P226, the Glock in 9mm, the Glock in other calibers. I do like a Glock 30S. It's in 45 ACP. There's some 45 auto Glocks I would carry. But for the most part, I like 9mm guns in general because they hold more bullets, and I don't think it really matters. However, whenever you use a 1911, it's got to be in 45, right? Like, that's just kind of how I'm wired. You can have them in 9mm. They're fine or whatever, but it's not the same. There's something magical about how empty the slide on a 1911 is because of how big of a bullet it's shooting. And you lose some of that when you go to 9mm, in my opinion. Anyway, I don't know why any of that fucking matters, really, but, like, I'd like to do some gun videos that are kind of like that, kind of like where I'm at now, which is basically that, like, I have come to a point where the thing that I'm carrying on me every day for self-defense is a fucking balisong, and I don't feel underarmed. I'm not ever going to shoot you. I'm just going to talk to you and scare the shit out of you. You know, if you want to shoot me, well, then we can see how good of a shot you are. And honestly, we can see how many times you can shoot me before I can cut your head off, because it's probably not enough to kill me. That's the journey that I've taken with guns. Is between being shot and doing a lot of other crazy shit, I'm not someone to be trifled with. And I don't need a gun to fucking get the bulge on somebody like you. Or anyone for that matter. I'm one of the people that when law enforcement interact with me, I have to be careful about what I do, because I very, very easily am taken as a very, very serious threat. And some of that's size and whatever, but some of that's intelligence and how I handle myself. I don't come across as somebody that like doesn't know what they're doing, generally speaking. I come across as like the oddly competent person who looks like they shouldn't know shit. And you can ask any cop on earth about that, but whenever they see something that unpredictable, they instantly jump to a higher level of defense. A reasonable person would, I would think. You know, when you see a real life pirate in front of you flicking a ballad song back and forth telling you how it is, people reevaluate their lives. Because, like, one of the things you should get that is, I think, my key to success in life is I'm ready to go right here, right now, to wherever. Hell, heaven, death, glory, prison. I do not care. And it's one of those things that, like, it's hard to live your life that way and stay out of fucking prison. Right? It's hard to live your life that way and not end up dead. A lot of my answer to it in the 21st century is just to fucking walk away. I walk away a lot. I walk away a lot because I could basically win any fight. And, you know, it's about living with the consequences after winning said fight. You know? The fucking dispute with the homeless dude outside of Walmart is not worth whatever it is. We've drifted a long way from why this is called P226nut again, but some of all this has to do into it is that, like, I don't know, that was my handle for a long time because I just picked it at random at the start of the internet. Guess that's the name we're going with. My previous handle before that was about 1911s, and it had the first two letters of my real first name. See if you can find that, but I didn't post on it that much. And it didn't have a YouTube channel or an Instagram. It was in the before times. It was in the days of the forums. If you can find out which forums I were a member of. I knew Yankee Marshall and what's his face? Tim Harmson from the forums. Like, that's interesting. It's always been interesting. Whenever they showed up making videos, I was like, oh, okay. Like, this is a thing that, like, I kind of forget sometimes that how much of, like, the birth of all of this gun culture internet shit that I was smack dab in the middle of. Kind of failing at it. I don't know. I'm still here talking to you guys, and, like, there's a good 70 to 100 of you that watch all of this bullshit that I put out. I think a lot of it's just seeing where the show goes. I'm kind of curious to see that myself. In case you haven't gotten what we're doing yet, I took a giant jump off a cliff, and we're just seeing where we land. And anytime we catch a ledge, we jump off the cliff again. I know not where this ride goes. But when they started twisting the fucking chains so fucking bad, during COVID that I couldn't take it anymore, I started jumping. And I have not looked back. And, you know, I like the Rachel's Place name because it lets people know that I'm me immediately and not, you know, whoever. But, like, honestly, P226nut was the original fucking, like, I hate to say fake name, real name. The original real name I made for the internet. Because, like, I consider the fake name to be the one my parents gave me. Like, in so many ways. It's like the name that you are given by your parents is all of their hopes and aspirations and shit for you. But the lie of our modern society is that basically your parents probably don't really have hopes, dreams, or aspirations for you that line up with classically good things. Like, this is my opinion. Our society has grown to a point where, like, I don't know. It's like there is no freedom now, and there never will be again because there's so many of us. I feel like that all the time now. Like, I think part of it's because it's like you can't take 5 steps out your door without running into another motherfucker. I used to do videos in the alley out there. And we probably still could. But I'd have to do it so much at fucking night. Because during the day, there's just like a billion people roaming my fucking neighborhood. And I think most of them are just people that are bored and don't have shit to do. And like they're done smoking weed and watching screens. And that's basically like the thing that there is to do in this neighborhood. You know, so much so that like when I started writing my book I'm writing, I made like the first chapter of it about just walking next to the docks and talking. And the thing that I was talking about was the fact that, you know, in this world that I was building, the only thing to do was to smoke weaponized hallucinogens and stare at screens. And I think that's pretty accurate to our times. Yeah, so it's mostly just a search optimization thing, but some of it is like a philosophical thing that, like, P226nut was dead, and well, I guess I'm back from the grave, so to speak. I'm feeling much more myself than I have in years. And I don't know why I happened to pick the time that I did to fucking change the channel name back, but I was going through some shit, and kind of still going through some shit. Gonna be going through some shit for a while, probably. And as I can make videos, I am going to make videos and post them here as random philosophical nonsense and stand-up comedy and whatever else we can fucking think to do. Stand-up philosopher. It's kind of what we do here. We are a stand-up philosopher in many ways. I like to watch things and form an opinion. And like, this is really my real superpower that I think a lot of people don't get, is that I can sit back at a distance from someplace with like a pair of binoculars or cameras inside somebody's house or whatever, and I will tell you shit that no one else would be able to tell you just from watching those screens and computers and shit, or binoculars or whatever it is. I'm really good at surveillance. I think part of it is the amount of like game playing, world building kind of shit I can do in my head to fucking map out, why did I just see what I saw? You know? It's all of this creativity bullshit that makes you good at doing anything. And like, that's really the sad thing to me about our educational system right now is we're killing creativity, and you can see its effects in our day-to-day lives. When you take an entire population of children who want to do nothing but draw pictures for their mom and force them into doing this crazy fucked up nightmare just to make more children, that's really what it is. They are controlling you and what you do and everything by the fact that you want to have kids. And it's one of the things that makes myself and Matt Freeman before me uniquely free of this shit. To see that there's something wrong, I guess. So that he was very strongly against having children, so much so that he got fixed. I never wanted to have kids and always wanted to fucking be trans and all this other shit, so like it just not in the cards for me. Kind of a similar line of thought though is that like if I wanted to have kids, I'd go adopt kids, because there's so many fucking kids right now that have nothing. Or if they have fucking family, it doesn't really fucking do anything for that. Like, it's sad. The world is a sad, sad place filled with sad, sad people. And I think a lot of people distance themselves from that so they don't have to feel it. They distance themselves from all that shit so that, like, the world seems right to them. And now it's like Google and Facebook are trying to do that via their tools to steer elections so that people keep electing Democrats despite the fact that we are headed for a cliff. Like, that's fun. I really hate this fucking country. So what it comes down to at the end of the day is that, like, the America that I loved, the America that I would consider to be my country, stopped existing during COVID. It was like the last nail in the coffin. It was gone. And, maybe that was just the last straw for me. I think there were some people that had last straws in fucking World War II. Yeah. If you really did want to wage a war against the United States in the modern era, the mafia did a pretty good job at it, didn't they? I think that might be the real answer. Form some sort of a cabal and go after the cabal. The thing I always wanted to do was form a gun organization that basically what we did was take money like the NRA, and then we went to senators and congressmen and informed them that they were ours. And that if they didn't want to be ours, then they could get unelected or dead. And the ones that said no to that, we try to buy off. You can't buy them off, kill them. Wouldn't that be great? Nice and simple. Nice and simple, old school NRA. I guess that's the political movement I would like to represent. A move back to simpler times when the NRA was just like the mafia and just made sure that shit ran right. I don't think that was ever really the case, but like it would be nice. Like the government sure as fuck can't be trusted. The NRA really can't be trusted either, but at this particular moment, any port in a storm, I guess. Well, we've drifted so far. What do you think of the name? Should I change it? Like, it seems sucky to me that, like, the search engine doesn't recognize Google's own changes to their own shit. Like, this is some of the stuff that's telling me that, like, there's something not good happening in the tech world. And I think it's that for years now, they've been having people typing away on computers that made the internet work. And those people during COVID decided to start living life and not fucking doing shit. And they're trying to replace that as quickly as they can with AI because it's the only way forward now. I think this is why you're seeing so much of the AI stuff being talked about in the front of the news now, is because of the potential of not having any employees to run all of this shit that could be run by an AI chatbot. They started dumping more tech and money and whatever into AI than they previously had. And I think they've made some breakthroughs and shit maybe too. But there's a whole bunch of people saying this is faked. I don't know. Could be. I doubt it though. I think that they really, in their desperation to fucking fix the labor problem that they created by having coders and shit. Like, I don't even know fully how all that shit works. But like, it seems like somewhere there's a building full of people typing away on keyboards that makes all this shit work. Explain why else every fucking tech company has a billion people doing that shit. Why do they need an HR department? Should be like 12 dudes that repair fucking, electronics. Oh, but it's not. Why isn't it? Well, it was software. Okay. And why does that mean that you need a literal army of people typing away on keyboards? I think the reality of this is you sitting at your computer doing the shit that you're doing what you're told especially, you are functioning as a part of a much, much larger machine made of people. I know not what you do, but it's probably not good. And I think this is why they need the AI to start replacing some of the lower level fucking positions at that shit, because they can't afford to keep paying people. And they've got the AI to the point where it can at least start trying to take over some of these people's jobs. So, welcome to the future where you're not going to have a job, you're not going to have a car, you're not going to have a house. Such a bright future, isn't it? See you guys later.